I call it art therapy, this engagement, using art to engage with our community, to preserve it, because we're used to being invisible. We're not used to telling our stories. So the more I can engage as like the next generation, but a member of the community, but also a filmmaker, I think I can be useful in helping to preserve these stories, to help people understand and help tell the story of Chinatown, but also help educate.
I think it's important when people hear these interviews or they can read about it, that it's coming from a person's family's background. They're telling the story themselves from a first person. It's much more interesting and captivating than reading about it in a textbook. So I think it helps people have a better understanding and a better impact of what people experienced during those times.
This is Tony Lee. He's one of my favorites. He's one of the early graduates of my alma mater, Boston Latin School, and graduate from MIT. He's an architect, and he's one of the heavy researchers of Boston Chinatown, and we've kind of built our work on top of his work.
It caught my eye that Mass Humanities are interested in stories, especially from underserved communities. So I applied for the grant, told them about how we would interview about 24 former or current residents of Chinatown, and to get the stories of how people lived, they worked, how families immigrated here or came here, and how people built a community in Chinatown.
For the longest time, I carried around this embarrassment, this feeling of shame about who I was. And it wasn't until I retraced my father's journey back to China, Toisan, to our village, where I finally realized the sacrifice and all the effort that our forebears and ancestors put forth so we could have an opportunity at education. It hit me like a ton of bricks, and it sort of calibrated my work as a filmmaker. So this oral history project is just probably the culmination of my work as a community filmmaker, but it's also a way to come back to my community and help preserve it.